Hey guys, this is John. I'm playing MareAnguis in the 5 minute pool on ICC. All right, this is a Grandmaster. We played him before recently, and we got in a Scandi for this last game of the session. I will attempt to remember my theory in a line that I've looked at recently, but honestly, I always have trouble remembering this line because it can get sharp very fast. So c4 is the critical move here. I'll play queen f5. And there's some very long lines in this variation, starting with bishop takes f3. Let me just make sure I've got this right. And then the idea is knight takes d4. And now you go queen e6 check. And you're going to get at this pawn on c4 and win the piece back, basically. Yeah, they play this. And now there's two moves. There's queen e4 and there's c5. I'm going to play queen e4. Usually white castles. And we'll see what we get here. So this bishop is pinned. If they move it, they would lose their queen. So hence there. Now, I can take queen takes or rook takes. I can also try to leave the bishop there and avoid capturing altogether. And I think... I'm already having a hard time remembering this, even though I should know this. So if rook takes, I think knight d2 could be played. But do I want my queen on d4? I'm spending a little time because I want to make sure I get this right. Rook takes knight d2. Don't know if that is correct. I'm going to take with the queen. We're going to see how this plays out. Yeah, he goes queen a4, makes a lot of sense. And now the a-pawn is defended by my queen, but rook d1 could be an issue. So I have to take some care here. I think e6 is the way to go. Or is it a6? Now I'm going to play e6. Yeah. So e6 and try to develop my dark square bishop if I can. Yeah, he brings the knight out. Makes sense. And now I think I should continue developing. I remember analyzing some lines where actually you give up the a7 pawn. So white can play knight b5 here. And even though after queen b6, you can just kiss the a-pawn goodbye, like queen b6, knight takes a7, king b8. It's not so easy for white to attack you then. So it can be okay. Okay, here, bishop to f3. Again, I'm thinking about giving up the pawn, but I'm also looking at c6 or a6 at this stage. I might play c6, to be quite honest. Yeah, let's go c6, and if rook d1, I'm going to play queen b6. I have yet to chessable these lines. Look at these lines in chessable. So this game is a clear indication I need to go back and do that. He might be calculating whether bishop takes c6 works. I don't think it does. But he's going to try it. Okay. So if take, queen takes, king b8. Ah, that's his idea. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, well played. Can I play bishop c5 and ignore it? I don't think so. Nah, I probably got to play queen b6. I think I'm going to do that. And then I'm just going to try to develop. So white has won the pawn back, but at least I'll be able to get developed, I think. I'm hoping to play bishop c5 and maybe tuck my king away with king b8 at some stage. MareAnguis is tough. Yeah, this player is always on the ball. They seem tactically sharp. That Kalashnikov game that we played last time is an indication of that. Let's see what he throws at us here. It might make sense to play a3, looking to play b4. He's going to go rook b1, maybe with the same plan in mind. Trying to prep that. What if I play rook d2? Can I try to get at that pawn? That would be interesting. I wonder if he'll go b4 anyways. Maybe. Yeah, he might just give up the f2 pawn. I could play queen b4 and try to insist on a trade, but... yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's go queen here. If he goes back to c2, I can take. He has bishop e2 then, though. Bishop e2 is a move I missed. So I should probably hide my king. So if a3, at least I can take now. I need my king off of the c file. I have a minute 23. For the moment, I'm fine, but the coming queenside play is a concern, as is my time. So we're going to have to pick up the pace and play accurately, too. Maybe bishop d4 next. I'm thinking about doing that move to attack the knight. Is he going to play a3 next? Maybe rook d7. Yeah, let's go here. Get ready to double. I'm a little surprised by b3. That seems like an odd move to me. Don't know about that one. Maybe he intends to play knight e4 and try to swap. He does. Okay. Okay, let's bring this over. b7 is covered a couple times, so no big deal there. That said, he might try to break through with his queen side, like a3 and even b4 as a sacrifice, maybe. Not out of the question. I missed that that was possible, so we're going to have to defend here. f2 is a bit weak for him, though. I actually don't think I mind giving up the h-pawn too much, if it allows me to consolidate my position. Okay. Queen a3, perhaps? Or maybe e5? Let's actually go a5. I'll try to gain a little space for my king to maybe come to a7 later. Let's go here and attack this pawn. This is defended, so no worries there. Can maybe try rook d1, but it's not threatening much, is it? So opposite color bishops. I'm down a pawn, but for the moment, everything seems okay. I think I should go here. Yeah, let's tuck our king away. b7 is guarded even in the event of a trade. And I'll still be on that a2 pawn. I have 30 seconds to his minute 14, however. Okay. Annoying move, that one. Okay, let's go here. 23 seconds. This is tricky. Okay, I'm gonna go here. It's just hard to find a move. I'm gonna try to play for e5. Maybe I should have played that on the previous move. So I'm gonna go for f5 now. Look to do that. Maybe queen e1 he could play, which threatens this pawn. Very sneaky move. Queen e1 followed by bishop d5. Okay, let's do this. We got to open this side of the board, clearly. Just give a check. I'm going to super protect the 7th rank. It's going to be a time scramble here, folks. Ooh, rook takes h4 coming. Go after f2. Also, we're hitting the bishop, aren't we? Oh, I lost on time. I think I was probably winning there at the end, actually, too. What happened there? Could I have just won his rook? Yeah, right here. Queen f1 check. It was hard to see how much time I had left, but yeah, he got me in the end. Probably deserved. He had some pressure there. Okay, so this game is a good example of how even when you spent a lot of time looking at a line, you can forget your analysis. This is a line that I analyzed for my Chessable repertoire, but you can see even me, this is like the old chess author's dilemma, you forget your analysis. And this happens to be one of like the most complicated lines tactically that I've recommended and looked at, but I haven't played it a lot over the board, so I just blanked on what to do here. So let's go back and take a look at this. So this is a Scandinavian with knight f3 and then bishop g4. And the backup repertoire that I talked about is knight f6. And I mentioned this in the Chessable repertoire. But after knight f6 and then bishop g4, black can try to castle kingside. So for instance, like, let's say here, d4, bishop g4, bishop e2, e6, castles, bishop e7, etc. But I think it's a little bit passive for black. Like, white will establish two pawns in the center like this, and they can try to use their space advantage to good effect. So the real way for black to combat this line is with castling long. And like I said, I haven't played this much over the board. I played it a couple times. I've actually tried queen a5 check on occasion here, which is an interesting move, but could transpose after bishop d2, queen f5, bishop e3, something like that. So in this case, I tried queen f5. But after bishop e3, take, this is like kind of a convoluted tactical line, as I said. And now check here, bishop e2. So there's two moves now, queen e4 and c5. Queen e4 is the move I looked at in the repertoire. But after castles, I couldn't remember which way to take. So let me just add the engine here. This is probably going to come back to me pretty soon. Yeah, I took with the queen. It might be okay. Here, taking on b2 is very dangerous. As you can see, the engine likes white if you actually develop and even give up a knight because of the threats white gets going towards the black king, and black has no development whatsoever on the king side. So that's a dangerous prospect. As played, I played e6, but I'm wondering, yeah, queen takes d4 or rook takes d4. If rook takes d4, queen a4... Yeah, I think this is wrong. So I think I took the correct way. If this happens, then here, and white is on the rook and also threatening check, and also they have a development move with tempo, knight c3 whenever they want, so that's bad. So rook takes, or queen takes d4 rather, seems correct. Queen a4, e6 also seems correct. Yeah, I think this is the move. Knight c3, knight f6. Maybe it's here I said something different. Bishop d6. That could be it. Bishop d6, which sometimes helps in threatening h2. And as I mentioned during the game, it's not out of the question that black would give up the a7 pawn. Here, taking a7 I think would just be bad because white would have to defend against the mate threat, and also the bishop is hanging. Not good for white. So, yeah, I played knight f6, but I have a feeling bishop to d6 was the move, which also helps in blocking the d file. So, like, rook d1 wouldn't come with an attack on the queen and the rook behind it. So, knight f6, bishop f3. Oops, didn't mean to go all the way back there, sorry. Go back to this key moment. Yeah, so I think I played incorrectly at this stage with knight f6. That move may not be fatal, though. The engine likes white, but it's probably not going to be a decisive edge. Let's take their top line, though. Rook f d1, queen b6, rook takes d8, king takes d8, b4. Yeah, because now if I take, I think rook b1 is a problem. Pinning my bishop to my queen. And if I support it with like a5, then a3, yeah, black's losing material. So maybe white should have done this and then traded and played an aggressive move like b4, although that's kind of hard to see. So instead, white played bishop f3, but now I felt like I was perhaps okay. Oh, really? I can take here, huh? B takes c6. So the engine thinks that's fine. So if I take, and then I was worried about queen takes c6 check, king b8, and then rook d1. Because if I play queen b6 at that stage, there's queen takes b6, a takes b6, rook takes d8. So what could the engine possibly have in mind? Some counterattacking move like rook d6? Is that what I missed? Let's see. So I thought that this would be a problem. So here, because if queen b6, there's take, and then white wins the rook next move. But yes, I think I missed that rook d6 was possible, counterattacking the queen. That's a nifty reply. And then if white goes check, black can block with the queen. And for the moment, black's actually up a piece. It's still a bit unclear, but the engine greatly prefers black. So bishop takes c6 might have been incorrect by white. So I played queen b6. White just retreated. And I tried to develop. I was worried about b4. I thought white might try that move. Yeah, and maybe they can even do it right away here. Pawn b4. And if I take, there could be trouble. Yeah, rook b1. And if I take the queen, there is probably bishop takes b7 coming up. We take this first to attack. Although, is this really that bad? b6. Take. Rook b5. Yeah, this looks dangerous. So instead, rook b1. And I played queen b4 looking for a trade. You know, I wanted to play rook d2 in this scenario because I thought that would be a good attack on f2 and b2. But I was worried about b4, quite honestly. I thought that white would just give me the f2 pawn, and then my pieces might be uncoordinated. The engine doesn't seem to think this is any big deal. It says bring on the white pawns. But to me, this looks, I don't know, a little concerning. If white even keeps pieces on board. But the engine just says no. Black's doing really well here. So as played, queen b4, queen c2, king b8, b3, rook d7. Yeah, even here I'm okay. Because white's taken a bit of time to get his attack off the ground. Oh, and here I can't play queen takes c4 because of the reply bishop e2. I think this is terrible for black because now my queen has to flee. And if, say, queen b4, there's knight a4 piling up on the bishop. Although I do have rook d2 here, don't I? Maybe a3 first? Yeah, engine likes that a3. And if the queen moves, then knight a4 might be even stronger. Yeah. So the engine is saying black would have to give up a piece because, like, if this, knight a4. Or if queen here, I assume b4 is also good. Forking the queen and the bishop. So I played king b8, just trying to hide. And white had to take a timeout. Okay, so despite this being a slightly undesirable structure for white, they would prefer those pawns to come forward. They do decide to take a timeout and play this in defense of the pawn. I thought maybe bishop e2 was better, so they could defend the pawn with the bishop and then go a3 and b4 thereafter. But b3... Yeah, I was down on time at this point. White just traded, and it should be pretty close to equal. It is an opposite color. Excuse me. Opposite color bishop position. But I feel my king is like slightly more exposed compared to white. So that might translate to a tiny advantage according to the computer. So rook d8. Yeah, they took this pawn. g6. Queen h4. Yeah, I missed that the h-pawn was hanging. So the engine wants to play this, and maybe I can try to put a pawn on e5 and like block up that e-file. Because as played, I just missed that white could take on h7. But even after here, I had my chances, didn't I? I think white kept pretty nice control of the position. I had a hard time evicting this queen from the e4 square, where it was attacking my pawn at all times. This move didn't threaten much, but it was annoying. I tried to hide my king a little bit. Here I can take on a2, but I always thought that was dangerous in view of this. Maybe there's some tactical reason why it's not. Take. Wow. And if take here, king h2. Oh boy, this looks so precarious though. Yeah, my position is held together by a single thread, it seems. Here, I tried to go for this plan of e5 and f5. Yeah, this got messy towards the end, didn't it? Again, bishop takes f2. This move has been popping up a lot. Did I just miss that here? Oh, I see why. So this time, this move works because if rook takes f2, there's queen b1 check. And then we're going to take the rook with the queen, keeping this rook glued to d7 to guard b7. Yeah. Ouch. So that was a nice opportunity I had here. What if they just move it? Like king here? f5, kick the queen out, and maybe then go take the rook is the idea. Yeah, that must be it. I have like less than 20 seconds on my clock, though, so the chances I find something that precise are pretty low. I just went for a line opening attack against white's king. Okay, so... Oh no, I had force mate. It's not even a very hard one, too. Take here, and mate on g1. Oh, man. Queen g1, checkmate. Yeah, I was just trying not to flag at this point. And even here, this is good. Check, maybe not so strong. I should have taken this pawn. But he had about twice the time I did, and even when I was able to do this, I couldn't get the moves off. It's different playing Blitz versus Bullet. Like in Bullet mode, I might have found that forced checkmate, like rook takes g1, queen takes f2 from a moment ago. But in Blitz, like you're kind of used to a bit slower decision making, and that might be one of the reasons why I just wasn't in the frame of mind to find that. Yeah, like here I have queen f1 just winning the rook. Yeah, now I'm losing, and also he avoided the flag. Okay, so this is a bit of an embarrassing game for me because I didn't completely remember a line that I just analyzed like a few weeks ago. But like I said, this is what can happen even in lines that you think you know. Like you can forget them, especially if they're tactical. Like I know for me, if the line is tactical and it has some nuances that are a little unusual, like this whole operation with knight takes d4 and then queen e6 check and queen e4 gaining the piece back because the bishop is pinned, that's pretty unusual. Like outside of this line, like you hardly ever see something like this happen. So I think that means that I have to study this line more and memorize it so I remember my analysis and I can actually demonstrate why I think this line is fine for black. So I'm pretty sure that this is the moment right here. So on move number 13, right after white plays knight c3, I'm pretty sure bishop d6 is the move instead of my knight f6. As played, it wasn't bad, but there were a lot of twists and turns, and most importantly, I burned a lot of time getting here. So that wasn't so good. Okay, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back again soon with another one. Talk to you guys later.